Some cars don't just lose value, they drain your bank account while you drive. They look perfect on the lot. Fresh paint, that new car smell, packed with advanced tech. But under the hood, they're financial traps waiting to explode. These are the cars that dealers smile about and owners cry about. Models so plagued with problems that Consumer Reports practically waved a red flag. And here's the scary part. Some of them cost more to repair than they're worth before hitting 50,000 miles. We're not just talking about budget beaters either. Some of these are luxury SUVs that promise comfort and class, but deliver breakdowns, recalls, and repair bills that rival a house payment. From electric trucks that glitch out mid-drive to brand new sedans that feel like they were built a decade ago. This list will change the way you look at brand new. Because behind every shiny badge and clever commercial, there's a story automakers don't want you to hear. A story of recalls, lawsuits, and regret. And the worst part? The final car on this list is so unreliable, it's being completely erased from the US market. So buckle up. Because what you're about to see isn't just a list, it's a warning. It's easy to fall for a car that looks perfect. Bold design, big screen, shiny badge. But sometimes that first impression is the most expensive mistake you'll ever make. Take the Chevy Blazer. On the outside, it screams confidence, sharp lines, modern tech, and a $44,000 price tag that makes it feel premium. But under that hood, it's chaos. Owners report engine stalling, electrical meltdowns, and transmissions that quit without warning. And if you think that's bad, the insurance premiums are sky high. Fuel economy barely scrapes 20 miles per gallon, and resale value drops faster than gas prices in a recession. It's not a comeback, it's a cautionary tale. Then there's the Lincoln Aviator, a luxury SUV that tried to compete with BMW and Audi and fell flat on its face. The price? North of $80,000 for the black label trim. The reality? Faulty airbags, electrical failures, and reliability scores so low, even Ford loyalists looked away. Fuel economy is a joke, just 18 miles per gallon combined, and recalls keep piling up. For a car meant to make a statement, it says all the wrong things: expensive, fragile, and constantly in the shop. And even the safety kings aren't safe. Meet the Volvo XC60. It's beautiful, sophisticated, and built by a brand famous for crash test perfection. But under all that Swedish elegance hides frustration. The 2024 model alone has faced 3 major recalls for transmission failure and engine stalling. Add in constant infotainment glitches and driver assist systems that malfunction at highway speeds, and that sense of Scandinavian calm vanishes fast. Each of these cars proves one brutal truth. Luxury styling doesn't mean long-term reliability. You're not buying peace of mind, you're buying the illusion of it. But if you think paying extra for innovation will save you from these headaches, the next group of cars will make you question that too. For years, automakers promised us a future of quiet, clean, zero maintenance driving. No oil changes, no gas, no problems, just plug in and glide into the future. But reality had other plans. Let's start with the Rivian R1T, the electric truck that was supposed to redefine off-road adventure. On paper, it's impressive. 314 miles of range, futuristic design, and a price tag north of $70,000. But once owners hit the road, the dream started glitching, literally. Drivers reported software crashes mid-journey, suspension issues that made steering unpredictable, and delays so bad that some waited months for basic repairs. And with Rivian's unique charging connector and limited network, road trips quickly turn into range anxiety nightmares. It's the perfect example of innovation moving faster than reliability. Then there's the Polestar 2, Volvo's electric brainchild that tried to rival the Tesla Model 3. Sleek, minimalistic, and packed with tech. It looked like a Scandinavian masterpiece, until the dashboard froze. Owners complained about infotainment system lockups, battery shutdowns, and sudden power losses that left them stranded. Recalls followed for high-voltage system failures, and service centers, practically non-existent outside big cities. Even with its $50,000 price tag, it felt like a beta test in motion, a reminder that futuristic doesn't always mean functional. These EVs had one job: to prove that electric cars could be just as reliable as gas-powered ones. Instead, they became case studies in over-promising and under-delivering. And that's the irony. The vehicles built to move us forward are now the ones breaking down the fastest. But the next wave of disappointment doesn't come from futuristic tech. It comes from the cars we grew up trusting, the American icons that forgot how to deliver. For decades, American automakers built their image on strength, steel, muscle, dependability. Built tough, made in America, like a rock. But lately, some of these once legendary names have become the poster children for disappointment. Take the Ford Bronco, one of the most hyped comebacks in recent automotive history. Retro design, gorgeous, off-road capability, impressive, reliability, a total letdown. Within the first 2 years, owners reported cracked fuel injectors that could spark fires, leaking roofs, and transmission failures that left drivers stranded. Even worse, the interior feels cheap for its $40,000 plus price tag, rattling like an old pickup after just a few months. And if you're thinking about the Bronco Raptor, that super SUV version, expect a fuel economy that drinks faster than it drives, averaging just 17 miles per gallon. For a car built to conquer mountains, it struggles to survive the daily commute. Then there's the Buick Encore, a compact crossover that tries to blend comfort and class. It promises quiet rides and a roomy cabin, but delivers headaches instead. The underpowered 1.4-liter turbo engine struggles just to merge onto the freeway, while transmission and electrical problems have become routine complaints. And with recalls involving seatbelts and airbags, safety first clearly wasn't the priority. The Encore might be small in size, but its repair bills are anything but. And don't forget the Dodge Durango, a beast of an SUV with towing bragging rights that make headlines. 8,700 pounds, a Hellcat engine, 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. Sounds incredible, right? Until the engine ticks like a time bomb. Reports of manifold leaks, engine failures, and exhaust issues are common, and with a V8 that gulps gas at 15 miles per gallon, the cost of ownership skyrockets. It's fun until the warranty runs out. After that, it's pain on wheels. Even the Jeep Wrangler, the symbol of American freedom and adventure, isn't immune. Sure, it'll climb a mountain, but it might fall apart on the way home. Electrical gremlins, rust, wandering steering, and structural cracks have plagued multiple model years. On highways, drivers describe it as exhausting, constantly correcting the wheel just to stay in one lane. For something designed to conquer the wild, it's shockingly uncomfortable on paved roads. These cars represent a hard truth for American car lovers. Heritage doesn't guarantee quality anymore, because under the stars and stripes, even the toughest trucks can turn fragile fast. And if that sounds bad, wait until you see what happens when you spend twice as much expecting perfection, only to get a luxury nightmare in return. You'd think that once you cross the $70,000 line, you're entering a world of perfection. Handcrafted interiors, whisper-quiet cabins, flawless performance. But here's the twist. Some of the most expensive cars on the road are also the most unreliable. Let's start with the Jaguar F-Pace. On the surface, it's a masterpiece. Sleek, powerful, unmistakably British. The kind of SUV that turns heads in traffic. But for owners, the only thing it turns is their patience. Electrical issues are constant. The infotainment system freezes, sensors glitch, and fuel pumps fail, even on newer models. Some drivers joke that the only thing luxurious about it is how often it visits the repair shop. In 2023, Jaguar ranked near the bottom of every major reliability survey, sitting below BMW, Audi, and even Mercedes. It's a luxury badge built on a shaky foundation, elegance hiding endless frustration. Then there's the Range Rover Sport, the king of contradictions. It's got the prestige, the power, the price tag, starting at a jaw-dropping $85,000 and climbing well over $120,000 for higher trims. But owning one can feel like dating a celebrity with commitment issues. Looks amazing, but constantly lets you down. Owners report air suspension failures, engine leaks, and complex electrical gremlins that can cost thousands to fix. And because of its cutting-edge tech, even basic maintenance requires specialist mechanics, which means specialist prices. Consumer Reports ranks it among the least reliable luxury SUVs in existence. For a car that's supposed to dominate off-road and glide through city life, it spends far too much time in the shop getting software updates that don't fix the real problems. And let's not forget the Volvo XC60, a name once synonymous with safety and sensibility. It's gorgeous, sure, but the problems are anything but. From faulty transmissions to driver assist malfunctions that disengage at random, it's become a symbol of luxury with limitations. Even the infotainment, powered by Google, has a habit of freezing mid-drive, leaving owners rebooting their car like it's a broken phone. Luxury should mean peace of mind, but for too many buyers, it's meant paying premium prices for premium problems. These cars prove that elegance doesn't always equal endurance, and sometimes the more you pay, the more it hurts. And if the luxury tier is this bad, imagine what's happening to the everyday sedans and pickups millions of people rely on daily. Because next up, we're looking at mainstream cars that turned into mainstream disasters. You'd expect unreliable luxury cars. High tech usually means high risk. But what's truly shocking is when everyday cars, the ones built for families and commuters, start failing at the basics. These aren't exotic models or niche experiments. These are cars that were supposed to be safe bets, and they've become the biggest regrets on the used market. Let's start with the Volkswagen Jetta, once considered the smart, affordable European choice. Clean design, decent price, great fuel economy, at least on paper. But under the hood, it's a mess. Models from 2019 to 2021 are notorious for transmission failures, engine stalls, and faulty electronics that trigger repair bills big enough to erase any fuel savings. Older Jettas have their own horror stories: electrical shorts, fuel pump breakdowns, and ignition coil issues that leave drivers stranded. What's worse? The 2009 and 2010 models gained a reputation for catastrophic gearbox failures, often just after the warranty ended. It's not just a fluke, it's a pattern. And that pattern screams avoid at all costs. Then there's the Fiat 500L, the quirky compact car that tried to mix Italian flair with practicality. It promised personality, efficiency, and affordability. Instead, it delivered chaos. Between 2014 and 2017, the 500L became infamous for transmission breakdowns, engine stalling, and fuel leaks that sparked safety recalls. Owners described the driving experience as nervous and unpredictable, while the resale value fell off a cliff, some reporting their cars lost half their worth in just 3 years. Fiat eventually pulled the plug on the 500L entirely in 2021, admitting what owners already knew. It was a stylish failure that didn't belong on the road. And if you think things get better with a truck, think again. The GMC Sierra 1500 is a prime example. A bold look, strong engine options, and a reputation for muscle. Until you own one. Models from 2014 through 2019 have been plagued with steering issues, transmission failures, and electrical faults that make long-term ownership a nightmare. One major recall involved brake system failures that could leave drivers with no stopping power at all. Add in poor fuel economy, high insurance costs, and $80,000 plus top trims, and you're looking at one of the worst value trucks in its class. Even Consumer Reports ranked its sibling, the Silverado, as the better buy in almost every category. These everyday cars have one thing in common. They break the unspoken promise that reliable should mean worry-free. And that's what makes the final car on this list so unbelievable. It's not a luxury SUV or an electric experiment. It's one of the cheapest cars in America, and somehow, it's also the worst. Because coming up next is the car so unreliable, it's being wiped off the US market entirely. The one automakers would rather you forget ever existed. You've seen overhyped trucks, overpriced SUVs, and underbuilt sedans, but nothing compares to this one. Meet the Mitsubishi Mirage, the car that promised to be the cheapest ticket to freedom on four wheels, and ended up becoming the definition of you get what you pay for. At first glance, it seems like a smart move. Under $18,000 brand new, tiny engine, great mileage. Sounds perfect for anyone trying to save a buck. But behind that price tag hides one of the worst reliability records of any modern car. The three-cylinder engine is so weak, it vibrates like it's begging for mercy at highway speeds. Acceleration, sluggish. Handling, wobbly. Comfort, practically non-existent. Step inside and you'll find plastic interiors that creak, seats that collapse with age, and an AC system that fails faster than you can say warranty. Owners describe it as driving a lawnmower in rush hour traffic, except the lawnmower probably feels more stable. And it gets worse. The Mirage scored terribly in IIHS crash tests, with small overlap results that raised serious safety concerns. Add in airbag failures, braking defects, and recurring transmission problems, and you've got a car that feels more like a liability than a vehicle. Even Consumer Reports ranked it near the bottom of every category: performance, reliability, comfort, and resale. But here's the twist that seals its fate. Mitsubishi has officially discontinued the Mirage in the US. There will be no 2025 model. After years of bad press, recalls, and poor sales, the brand quietly decided to pull the plug, erasing one of the cheapest new cars in America from existence. And that decision says everything, because when a car is so unreliable that even its maker gives up on it, you know it's time to walk away. So if you're shopping for your next ride, remember this: the cheapest deal can cost you the most in the long run. A low sticker price might look tempting, but when you're sitting in a repair shop signing another $1,000 invoice, that great deal starts to feel like a scam. But don't worry, not every car is a money pit. Some models actually deliver on their promises. And in my next video, we're looking at the cars that almost never break down, the ones Consumer Reports calls bulletproof. Because while these 17 models show you what to avoid, the next list could save you thousands.